The book was read by all of two people, and both of them thought it was absolutely fabulous. Now, they might have been biased because they were, of course, mom and dad. I've been writing ever since, and there's been no looking back. And cutting chai and maska pav almost seems like a logical step ahead, right, in this direction. Another interesting thing that cutting chai and maska pav has allowed all three of us, apart from writing, photographing, illustrating it, is the chance to actually work on marketing a product. We've never had the opportunity to do so before, and it's been so exciting. So you have marketing concepts and gyan, things like target audience and supply chain management and other very difficult sounding things. And suddenly we had an opportunity to put it into action, which was just so fantastic. Right, but when you see this very glossy and very colorful book, it's, I think most of y'all might not realize the trials and trauma that's gone into making it. So I want to dwell on that for a few minutes. I think the biggest challenge when you work on a topic like Mumbai is the fact that there have been a lot of people, a lot of brilliant writers, artists, poets, who have actually covered the book before we have. And all three of us were certain of the fact that we didn't want to fall into the trap of this being just another book on Mumbai or yet another ode to the city or any of that. The second challenge, in a slightly lighter vein, was navigating this horrible thing called distance. This book is almost like a product of a long-distance relationship of sorts. So the three of us were in three different cities, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad and Chennai. Our publishers are sitting in Delhi. We're writing a book on Bombay. Of course, it gets very confusing at times because this isn't a tale of 2 or 3 or 4 cities. It's been a tale of 5 cities, actually. The third most difficult task for me, actually, it was very difficult to do the illustrations for this book. Take a word like Dimag Ka Dahi. I mean, seemingly it's a very colloquial phrase and you can just say it at the drop of a hat. But when you're asked to put a picture to such a phrase, it just becomes such a challenge because how do you draw something like that? Other Mumbaiya words, for example, Dinchak and Jakas, Aila, Vat, all of them were just so difficult to draw. So I spent a lot of time just figuring out what to draw and how to do justice to the word and capture it in all its color without losing any of its authenticity in the drawing. Right. So while making this book, we've done some of the most random, ridiculous, really exciting and very interesting things. So I remember back in the day before Anna Hazare was such a celebrity, I had gone for this fast of his at Cross Maidan. I just happened to be the area and being the curious person that I am, I happened to go in and take a look. And suddenly there was this whole police lathi charge that happened on that particular fast. And I was chased out of this Maidan by this very pissed off looking Pandu Havaldar. And of course I ran for my life. Another sleepy Sunday morning, Priya and I had gone to Maratha Mandir to experience what it is like to see a movie in a talkie. So we saw the 743rd week of Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. And let me tell you, it was so exciting. The theatre was houseful, surprisingly, full of men. And they were so excited, they were cheering every scene and repeating every dialogue. We visited several Parsi Ranis across the city. And one time in particular, we had a wonderful experience because the owner was this very kind, happy Parsi man. And he insisted that since we're working on a book, we have to try every item on the menu. And he just wouldn't take no for an answer. So that was a very extended lunch that went on. This other time, we visited Dhobi Ghat. And we were very lucky to meet the Gunda of Dhobi Ghat. Yes. He was this very skinny, scrawny fellow who stood there. And he was wearing this necklace of 1 rupee coins for some reason. So that was quite interesting. This other time, we spent an entire afternoon perched on a pile of bricks next to an Italian barber. Now, if you're wondering what an Italian barber is, you guys should read the book. And he explained to us the intricacies of what goes into making the Dhoni haircut such a hit. So we played gully cricket on the steps of Banganga. Of course, none of us can play cricket very well, but other times we visited countless cow gullies across the city And we've sampled everything from Amul Pav Bhaji to Zunka Bhakar and a lot of other things along the way. So all in all, it's been a fabulous, fabulous journey. So many times we got absolutely lost in the city. We had no idea where we were. So many times we found absolute strangers who were so happy to help us, let us into their homes, their hearts, their lives. It's been fantastic. Sometimes we discovered magic in the mundane. We found the method in the madness and the madness in the method, and somehow between all of this we found Mumbai in all its whole and soul. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. All three of us are very grateful to have you guys here. And we really hope that this book inspires you to go out and explore the city. I mean, we live here, but I really feel most of us don't spend enough time being in the city, exploring it in its totality. So yes, go out, be a traveler in Mumbai, be a tourist in Mumbai, and grab your sturdiest pair of shoes, and of course, go armed with a copy of our book. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mithila. Well, I'm sure each of you brought to the audience, different perspectives, different insights into the book. And now, looking at the crowd in the audience, all your well-wishers, we also have a few very curious customers who are wondering what the book is all about, and they're in the audience. So, do you think any of y'all, maybe one of y'all could read maybe one small excerpt from the book, and then we move on to a little bit of audience interaction, maybe a couple of questions more? Yeah, any small snippet from the book would do.
So, which is the favorite word? Look in the book.
Yeah, anybody who's, by whatever you've heard them say, is there a very, majority of you all think that, okay, now this is the word that we associate with Mumbai. Come on, anyone in the audience, please feel free to say. I can,
we heard Jackass right there.
Anybody? Yes? Dimag ka dahi, that's right. Okay, what about the men? We have the ladies talking. What about the men? Yes. What? Yes, aapki waat zarur lag gayi hai, right? Anybody?
Interestingly, we have a lot of Mumbai words.
Yes, yes. Anything more? I mean, what? If you actually go to see the jargon of words that you can associate with a city like Mumbai, it must have been quite a task having to probably zero in on a particular list, and maybe prioritize the words, because I'm sure there are much more words than what we can actually imagine Bombay is associated with.
Right, of course. It was difficult because the vocabulary is just so immense, and there are so many wonderful, colorful words that exist. The idea was just to get a feeler of all those words. And as we said, Mumbai is greater than the sum of the words we have in this book. So it was pretty much an indicative thing that we came up with. There were a lot of interesting words which aren't in the book, in fact, words like koka or kopchi, like a narrow getaway. There were words which have originated from underworld lingo. So you have ghoda, which is the trigger of a gun, and other such similar words. What we've tried to put here is words that people use on an everyday basis, and words that most people could, of course, relate to.